What's up, everyone, and welcome back to some more Oxygen Not Included Max Difficulty. This is episode number 12. And as you can see, we've kind of got our greenhouse pretty much done here. Now, I did play, I think, 20 cycles off video because I had already spent like 2 or 3 episodes working on this greenhouse, and I felt like it was getting kind of stagnant as far as the entertainment of the videos went. So I went ahead and just finished this off camera. It was pretty boring. I just kind of waited for the duplicates to get everything done, and then I waited for it to get vacuumed out, and then I just pumped the gases in. So as you can see, we've got our, let me go ahead and hit play. We've got our carbon dioxide full in the actual growing area, and then we've got our little cold room here. Chilling out. It's just chilling. Chilling like Magellan. You guys remember those commercials? The old Magellan foot? Hey, if you're like, I don't know, maybe 26 and older, you might remember those commercials. I don't know, maybe they're older than that. Who knows? But yeah, I'm just chilling now. So we're kind of waiting for everything to get down to temperature. I did pump this carbon dioxide from down here, which was quite toasty. I pumped that over into here. One thing that did is relieve some of the pressure here on the oil refinery, so we can actually start making petroleum again. We can start running petroleum power instead of my dupes having to run on wheels, which I'm gonna have to lower these down because I don't want my dupes running on these a lot. One other thing I did was I changed the priority. I have to pause it because I just remembered something I was doing over here, but I changed the priority of Catalina, who is my researcher, from operate to farm, because what was happening is my millwood up here was not getting planted sufficiently enough, and I was losing calories. I think I still am losing calories, which makes this even more urgent. One thing I can do is actually plant these. Are all of these priority 9? No, just those. Okay, just make those a 7. All right, so we've pretty much got our farm set up. We're also producing cold water. What was I doing over here? Oh yeah, that's right. So one of the issues I ran into, we can go ahead and play. We're just going to put on ×1 though. One of the issues that I ran into, well, I didn't run into it, but I foresee this happening. Basically, this pipe here isn't long enough. So what I see happening is we're going to have this storage tank will be full, first of all, and then we're going to have too many packets come through this pipe and back up. And then there's going to be a packet just sitting on this sensor here, and when that happens, if the packet is too cold, it's going to continue it. It's going to keep this valve open, so water is going to continuously flow into the storage tank, which is pretty much full. You can see I almost filled it up accidentally, but you can see that the packets coming through here, there's actually quite a few of them. Yep, quite a few. So when this thing backs up, it's potentially going to back this line up all the way to here and then cause a lot of issues. So what I'm going to do is actually we don't need to do that. What was I doing here? So I was going to go down and then over, then up, and then over, and then up, and then over. So we just need to deconstruct this one, and it is going to mess stuff up, but I don't really know what else to do. We might have to deconstruct this reservoir and then place a new one. That might be what we do, but okay, let's pause it as soon as that's done, and then, oh, okay, so here's this. So this goes like this. So that way it just adds like another sort of snake in there, so we can fit a little more water in there before it backs up. Because this sensor, what it does, I don't know if I explained this, but it shuts the aqua tuner off if water sits in this area for too long. And right now it's set to 2 seconds because I don't have very long of a run. But the problem is, water is, like, when water goes into the storage tank, it's longer than 2 seconds. So it shuts the aqua tuner off even when it doesn't need to. So I need to make this pipe run a little bit longer, and this might even not be enough. I might need to like run it up here and then down or something like that. I don't know. But for now, we're just going to do this, and hopefully it'll help a little bit, maybe prevent some things. We've also connected our turbine here to a power out, a transform out here. We're missing one over here, so right now we're only siphoning off 1 kilowatt. when it runs. But I had to delete it because I needed the ladders to get up to the pipes, and these need to be high priority. Did we fill it up? Yeah, see, what happened was we actually blocked this because we filled it up. But we'll actually be able to see if it can correct itself without deconstructing this reservoir. I imagine it probably can, because we are going to be pushing water out. But yeah, one thing we actually need to do is connect these lights up. There we go. So now our bristle blossoms need irrigation. Why are they not irrigated? Did I turn this? Okay, I think we're about to hit the first cycle here after running the water. So we're gonna go through our first little watering potentially, and I think we're gonna need more than 11%. Let's go like 13% for now. That might have enough water. It is trying to flow backwards at this point, so a bridge over here might actually be something I want. I mean, it's still kind of flowing up here, but body temperature. Oh, so I'm actually watering these for no reason right now. I'm kind of wasting water, but you know what? It's fine because we want our cooling line to be moving, and it's currently not. Got our carbon skimmer going, which is good. One thing I should do is actually set the pressure. Just put a pressure sensor on here because I don't necessarily want to get rid of all this carbon dioxide. So I might want to set a pressure sensor to be like over 1.5 kilograms. If it's over that much, then we run the carbon skimmer. Because we do have slicksters down here, so they can eat this up and kind of produce more oil for us. Not that we need it, you know. We've got this guy going, which isn't hooked up right now because I'm trying to use all this oil up, so I have this room down here to kind of build in. I love this new red alert priority thing. It's actually awesome. I was like, where did this water go? Or where did this water come from? But I remember now that I had to deconstruct a pipe. But yeah, this priority system is like you can just make something get done instantly. It's just awesome. Okay, so we are backed up here, which means we either need to bleed some of it off with like a vent, or we just deconstruct this reservoir, which I think I'm gonna do. We'll create a liquid storage, and then we'll deconstruct that pipe in a second. So we'll just bleed off a little bit. Body temperature, yeah, it's quite toasty in here still, but you know, we'll eventually get there. It's going to take quite a while for this carbon dioxide to get down to temperature because it is carbon dioxide, so it doesn't absorb heat the best. Also, we need to kind of close this area off because we're sort of heating up the entire environment over here, which we don't want to be doing. Yeah, I think I was going to actually build the floor out of insulated tiles just so I could separate this and not be like cooling down the entire environment over here. But now I'm thinking maybe I just finish the frickin' greenhouse. You can see the steam turbine is running quite well. I was a little worried when it first started to ramp up. Well, the steam, when it first converted the water to steam, I was a little worried because you can see that the layer is a little bit lower than it normally is. It might just be kind of the difference in graphics from polluted oxygen to hydrogen, but it was normally a little bit higher up, I think. So it kind of worried me at first, but it ended up working out pretty well. Oh no, I forgot this, right? Delete that. So we've drained enough out of this tank now to where we can deconstruct this. It's a priority 9, so it should get done. So we've got this little pipe here. We can deconstruct these ladders and put our second transformer back in here because we're going to need that power generated from this turbine. We do have some petroleum over here, but I'd rather not use it if I don't have to. So let's go ahead and grab another 1 kilowatt transformer, place that at gold. So if you don't know what I'm doing here, essentially the turbine outputs 2 kilowatts of power, and the maximum of our conductive wiring here, which is the only one you can run through walls aside from a 1 kilowatt wire, is 2 kilowatts. So we have to put this onto 2 transformers before we send it out to our main grid here. Otherwise, the main grid will try to pull more than 2 kilowatts and it'll break the wire. And if we run heavy watt, it's kind of a more complicated system because you have to have one of the blocks, one of the heavy watt joint plates, followed by another heavy watt joint plate. So you have to do something like this. And then you have to make this middle area a vacuum. Otherwise, it will transfer temperature outside of the room, which we don't want. So that's the way we've got the power set up. Or that's why we've got the power set up that way. And it's currently not outputting any power. Oh, there it is. Okay. But it fills up the batteries quite quickly, and we're actually wasting a lot of power because we're not using nearly as much power as we're generating with this thing. But I'm hoping that will change eventually. All right, let's sweep this area up, get it nice and clean. We've got some sort of excess water stored in here at 21 degrees. That's fine. I would like to mop all this stuff up. I'm surprised that it's not like flooding anything over here. But let's just mop it up, get it nice and clean. I think what we're going to focus on is actually cleaning this area up from here on out. One thing we actually need to build is a kitchen because once we fully swap over to gristleberries, we'll be getting rid of our millwood farm. Maybe we just turn this area into a kitchen. That might work. You know, we've kind of already got the setup. We probably need 4 tiles on some things. What about the micro musher? Is that 4 tiles high? No, it's 3, so we could fit a micro musher in here. Obviously, we don't need this much for a kitchen, but we could have like food storage down here and whatnot. I think we will do that. Once our bristle blossoms, once we get our first harvest or whatever, we'll make the swap over and turn this area into a kitchen. We've kind of got this stuff up here, but it's not really being used, I don't think. So you can kind of see how our little water circulation system is working here. This just kind of ensures even distribution of the water. And towards the end of the day, we'll be able to look and see if we actually gave enough water. So this slider here, this active duration, is how much water we're letting in here. So it only activates a certain amount of time per cycle. One thing I didn't do is actually measure to see if I'm pumping too much or too little water in here. So we'll kind of keep an eye on that right now for this cycle. Actually, let's just speed it up. Put it on super speed here to kind of run through this system and see how much water is left over by the end of the cycle, and then adjust the clock sensor accordingly. End of cycle is near. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it on super speed for now, and let's look at the water. It looks like we're running out of water, but you got to remember that there's water stored inside the hydroponic tiles. So what we need to watch for is plants actually drying up before it starts watering again, which is pretty soon here. This is nice. Look at them. They're all like popping at the same time. I like that. It's probably better to have them staggered, really, because that way your dupe has like doesn't have such a large workload. Okay, so as you can see, they're all drying up right about the time that we're adding more water, which is perfect. That's exactly what we want. That means we're adding like almost the exact amount of water we need. So for this many plants, we need 13% of an active duration on this clock sensor, which, how many plants do I have? I don't know. I'm pretty sure I said it in a previous video. It's like, let's see, I think I need 7 per duplicate or 6. You know what? I don't remember. I did hear the printing pod go off though, so let's go ahead and grab some fried mushrooms. Sure, that'll help. Okay, so one thing we can do now is uproot all this stuff. I wish there was a fast way to uproot it. You know what? Let's just deconstruct it. We're done with the millwood. I'm not going to deconstruct all of it. I'm going to deconstruct most of it. Okay, so my dirt, you can see, is 11.2 tons. So this is like right on time with running out of dirt here. We barely like got this set up in time, which is nice. And it's nice that we got it set up before we ran out of dirt, because that would have been the end of the colony if we ran out of dirt. I don't know what I would have done. I mean, I suppose I've got some dirt I could dig up, so maybe I would have had a little bit of wiggle room, but it would have been close, man. It would have been close. Set this. You know what? Let's just set this grill up to a higher priority here. Put it on a 7, and I think Joshua here is our cook. Yep. So we're gonna make Catalina like the main farmer, and then Joshua is gonna cook here. Yeah. So Catalina is actually going to be like farming our stuff. And then let's make these a lower priority than the bristle blossoms. we make sure that the bristle blossoms get harvested always first before the other stuff that we don't need. Okay, we're going through these calories quick though. So one thing I need to do is, yeah, I need to leave these millwoods here, and then I need to turn off bristleberry for some people and turn it on for others. Now everybody's at an 8. We could up some jobs at this point, I think. So who needs a higher one? Well, I kind of want to move Catalina into another research position. So let's do that. Let's put her there so we can start actually researching volcanoes and things. And then let's make sure that she doesn't eat bristleberries, but she does eat gristleberries. Don't eat mushrooms. Yeah, you guys can eat mushrooms. And then we're going to turn bristleberries off for, oh, I don't know. Let's turn it off for Liam as well. That's fine. So we'll just have a couple people eating bristleberries right now, and then the rest will eat only the gristleberries. That way we should start to kind of build up a surplus of bristleberries, and then we can make the full transition over to gristleberries. Because this setup down here is for gristleberries. It's not for bristleberries. I know this can get confusing, but hear me out. So if my dupes are just eating the bristleberries raw without cooking them first, it's going to take more plants than this. But the plan is to cook them into gristleberries, which is 1 higher morale and more calories as well. So that's the plan with this many plants. It should work out perfectly. In fact, maybe I just take everybody off of it. Let's just take everybody off of bristleberry. They can still eat millwood and things. Maybe I might want to enable meat. How much meat do I have? I don't have tons, but I mean Joshua's going ham on the grill here, so I think we're fine. I think we can just disable bristleberries for everybody, and they can all eat bristleberries at this point, which means the morale is going to go up, so we can actually increase jobs here. Do I want an electrical engineer? Probably not, I want to say. Joshua, are you trained in cook? You are. We could change Joshua into the chef so his cooking goes up, and I think I'm going to do that. And that's all we'll do for now. All right, I think I've spent enough time on this. I just like looking at the greenhouse. It looks so nice, doesn't it? Can we just appreciate how nice this looks right now? Even though the lights are kind of, there's too many of them, but I think it still looks pretty dang nice myself. I don't know. Rate it in the comments below. What would you rate the aesthetics of this greenhouse? Nice being a 10, the nicest being a 10, and the ugliest being a 1. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention last episode. If you're watching, like, I don't know, if you're following the series, you know that there was once 2 Drekos in here. And I brought that up many times. Last episode, I don't think I mentioned it, but there were 2 Drekos in here. I promise you. There were 2. And now there's only 1 again. There's a Ninja Dreko. I don't know if it's like, maybe it's like a chameleon Dreko. It's blending in or something. I don't know, man. I don't know. We should probably close our base off to this as well, because we're leaking heat through all this. I mean, it's not tons, but there's really no need for that to be happening. Just dig out the top 3. That way we can reach this top tile. And then we'll dig out the other one later. Alright, so greenhouse is done. Kind of made our switch over to gristleberries. Feels good. Really happy about that. Question now. What do I work on? I think this stove, this grill is kind of fine for now. I would like to move it down here, but until we get rid of the carbon dioxide, that's not going to happen. Because we need Joshua to be able to cook non-stop, and having carbon dioxide around you means he's going to have to go take a breath. And we don't want that. We need to provide proper work conditions for our duplicants. What do we work on? What is important? What's important for the next step to success in this rocket colony that we're going on? All right, so I think dirt cooker. I think dirt cooker is next up on the menu, really, because I'm gonna need the dirt for the sleet wheat, and like if I want to get to rockets, I'm gonna need high morale food, right? And this doesn't give me a list of all the food, but I'm gonna need high morale food. And bristleberry isn't the highest. I think it's the tier under the highest food. So we might need to set up like a small barbecue farm like a small hatch farm to make barbecue or whatever, but that's gonna only be for like one duplicant or something, because we only we only need one astronaut to begin with, and then later on we can go to multiple astronauts or whatever, but it's fine. Okay, so maybe I should actually dig up some of the dirt I have to kind of see how much dirt I actually have. So let's dig this stuff up. So, dirt cooker. I'm going to have to go back and watch my dirt cooker video to see exactly how I did everything. I still have kind of the blueprint in my mind of how it works. But if I'm going to start building it, I want to make sure it's exact. That way I can avoid any hiccups or design flaws. And any time wasted. I don't want to waste any more time. I want to get to it and do it. Start progressing the base into a fully automated monster that just sends rockets off. I want to send like 6 rockets a day. 6 rockets a cycle to go get me stuff. Obviously, I think they take a little bit longer than a cycle to make the trip, but you get what I'm saying, right? This is going to be like a monster rocket base. That's what I'm going for here. We're going to have astronauts up the wazoo. They're all going to be bringing me back wheeze warts and gassy moos. And where's our polluted? So our polluted water's over here. So we kind of want the dirt cooker over here because we want to cook the dirt coming out of the metal refinery here, because it's going to be preheated, right? I mean, 39 degrees isn't really preheated, but we could eventually set up like a cycling system so this polluted water gets circulated back into the refinery until it reaches a certain temperature. Pretty similar to what we have on the turbine up here. And then it goes off to the dirt cooker to be cooked into dirt. Instead, we're just kind of like wasting the potential. I mean, I guess we're getting dirt out of the sieve as well, and it's giving us more. Here's the thing. We've got plenty of clean water, right? And we've got plenty of polluted water. So once I kind of pull the cooling potential out of this polluted water, I don't necessarily need to use it for this system anymore. Yes, I'm getting more dirt out of this, but I'm not getting as much dirt per cycle, right? So if I was just running all of this water directly into a dirt cooker constantly, I would be getting much more dirt per cycle, because obviously the sieve isn't running 100% of the time. One other thing I could do is like set up a sort of a rot farm. So just have bristle blossom, like another bristle blossom farm, just to let the bristle blossoms rot, and then take that rot, put it into a what's the thing? Composter, and have the dupes composted. But again, that takes dupe power, and I don't like using dupe power for these things. I would much rather automate it. That's where the dirt cooker comes in. So I think that's what we're going to be doing. And we're not even going to run this on a loop. I think what we're going to do is we're going to be using like regular water or even maybe oil for the metal refinery. And then yeah, so maybe we'll be using like some other liquid for the metal refinery. We'll be using this water to obviously cool down the steam in here, but just this general area, we're not going to be pumping it into the refinery. It'll just kind of go across this area with a radiant pipe and cool things down, and then it'll go into the dirt cooker and be processed that way. And I think that's kind of going to benefit us the most, because we're still taking the cooling potential of this water and we're putting that to use, but we're using the other water sources we have as well. Because right now this isn't really being used too much, only if I run out of water in this line, which isn't really going to happen too often. And then also I've got another one down here, which we're not even cooling down. Maybe we should start cooling this down. I guess this is more like a manual valve, because I think that's why I had the Atmo sensor in here, because you can see the temperature isn't changing because we have too little gas in here. But originally I had an Atmo sensor in here, so I would have had the doors close if the pressure was above a certain amount, which means the vent would have been going off. So this thermal sensor is actually incorrect. We should have an Atmo sensor in here. So yeah, dirt cooker is going to go over here. Put the water in, dirt out to be cooled off, and then pumped up over to here. where it gets sent into, you know, all the farms and whatnot. That's one thing I've got to run as well as the conveyor system. So obviously all of these are going to be sending the food out to the kitchen. Maybe we should set the kitchen up over here. I think we should. So the kitchen, how are we going to do this? Okay, I've got an idea in my head. The kitchen's going to go above this. We're going to stick the transit tube access in here, but we're also going to have like the kitchen area that cooks everything. And then we'll have to, I don't know, we'll figure that out later. I've got the idea, and that's the important part. But yeah, dirt cooker here, and then we'll focus on everything else after I get that completed. I don't want to spread myself too thin here. Anyway, that's going to be the end of the episode. We have gone 20 cycles. Thank God we've got everything set up here. It feels so nice to have this done and not have to worry about it anymore. And everything is actually working correctly. Yep, we haven't got any more water in the storage tank yet, so this system is working perfectly. So yeah, that's going to be done. Up on the agenda is dirt cooker, as I've mentioned plenty of times, I'm sure. I'll probably cut most of it out. But if you enjoyed this video, give me a like. If you didn't enjoy it, give me a dislike. I mean, if you want to be a dick. No, I'm just joking. You can dislike it if you don't like it. Anyway, post a comment in the comment section below if you have any questions or suggestions or anything like that. Thank you for watching again, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.